Thanks for joining us today, Rachel. It's a beautiful sunny morning, I guess, but we can't really see that from the studio today. But
we can't.
How are you?
Yeah, good. Yeah, nice to have made the trip up and come to the offices here at Ingram. So yeah, it's always nice to be able to get on the road and see a few people.
I know the weather was really glorious today for the drive.
It was gorgeous.
Blue skies and sun.
The autumn is here.
So I guess one of the questions would be, how would you have found Ingram support or my support when it comes to solving end customer problems or queries or challenges? Whenever a customer rings up and says, I need this help, what's kind of been outspoken, or what's kind of been the pinnacle of how Ingram has supported you that way?
I mean, we really feel the team at Ingram are just part of our extended team. You know, we're able to ring anyone up and either just ask questions so that we can answer them for customers, or lots and lots of times you jump on customer calls and go through it with the customer. So that's really great that, we can bring in the expert and the customer appreciates that as well. So, yeah, it's just lovely being able to reach out and pull people in as we need, really.
Do you find it's a bit difficult, or do you find it easy to explain to customers who Ingram is and how we're an extension of your business?
Yeah, I think, they understand the sort of supply chain and the fact that, we're supplying them via Ingram as our distributor. Mm-hmm. And I think that they appreciate that then there's specialist resource that we have on hand. You can't be a specialist in everything.
Yeah.
So having the scale that you've got at Ingram, helps bring in the right resources at the right time.
How would you personally find the valuable time that we bring as a business to train the individuals that are maybe starting from university from Babble? I know you've got a bit of an extension program there, or how you find it whenever somebody's stuck on something and they can just reach out to Ingram. How important do you find how we can just drop everything and explain and support the team, I guess, in that respect?
Yeah, no, it's hugely helpful. The fact that you have the sort of expert resources on hand, you can pull in Microsoft, or, you're able to talk to lots of other people in Microsoft that we just simply don't have access to. So, you're a really enabled extension of our team. You have the expert resources. So being able to, ask you a question about Microsoft or a colleague about Azure, whatever it might be, we're able to call on you. So it's great when you come and do the training events where we can be really specific and focused on a certain thing, and really, enable the team. And we use, a lot of that information still, it's available for the team to go back and, watch some video snippets, or, have the objection handling questions that we went through on the day are there, and still, helping out new team members that have joined since. So yeah, really good.
And tell us about, obviously, whenever Copilot was announced and kind of brought to the market, and Babble was straight on it, all hands on deck when it came out. Tell us about what Ingram was doing with Babble, with your dedicated landing page and all the community events and all the material that was put onto that landing page, because I think you were one of the first partners in the country to actually have a landing page dedicated to Microsoft 365 Copilot.
That's right. I mean, you were instrumental in helping us achieve that, getting all the right information at the right time, that wasn't information overload. It was the right information for, the customers that we support. So yeah, being able to just come to you, say, right, we want to do this. We're getting questions from customers about it, but not necessarily having the expert resources in-house. So yeah, it was great to be able to come to you. You were able to give us all of that information, all of the collateral, really help us build out that page so that, we can and help customers. So you really help us scale. Whatever it is we're kind of looking at and doing, we're able to bring in your resources and just help us be at the forefront of what we're trying to do for our customers. So especially with, new tech that's incoming, we might not have had time to really enable, our entire sales force or support teams or delivery teams. So yeah, being able to reach out to Ingram and for you to come in and just provide that expert resource wherever it is, then, that's so helpful.
And obviously Microsoft is always bringing out new stuff and always announcing new stuff and whatnot. We've not had a chance to properly catch up yet about the new Defender and Purview bundles yet. But obviously with Business Premium being a really key metric for you guys, and obviously going into the end of the year, the business standard to business premium conversion is coming. How are you expecting Ingram to support you further on that wing? Because that's a big uphill battle to try and get customers to go from business standard to business premium, because most of them are very kind of money conscious with the way the market is at the minute. How are you expecting Ingram support there, or what are you expecting that this kind of challenge to be to convert customers to a higher paying product?
Yeah, I think we'll probably see what we've seen before. You guys will sweep in, give us all the information we need, and that will enable us to, really kickstart our campaign. I think you always manage to cut through all of the noise and actually give us the valuable information for customers. So yes, it might be more money that customers have to spend on a license, but actually the value is tenfold. So yeah, cutting through all that noise, giving us the information that's really important, and yeah, just helping us scale and kind of spin up campaigns quickly, because you've got the information at your fingertips. We don't have to wade through the Microsoft website trying to find the right things. You're able to just provide them. So yeah, you just help us be a much more agile than we probably would be left to our own devices.
One of the next topics we could probably talk about is Partner Center.
Oh yes.
We've been doing a lot of work recently on your partnership status, because Babble's obviously made a lot of acquisitions since 2020.
Just a few.
And I guess, could you explain in so many words what that task has looked like in terms of when you merge a business, all the headache that comes with it? Where does Partner Center fit into all that, and what kind of things has Ingram been helping you with on that?
I was new into role not so very long ago, and new to Partner Center. So, without your help specifically, Pete, I would have been lost in a huge world of documentation trying to figure out what I was meant to be doing in Partner Center. And, as you say, we've been a really acquisitive business over the last few years. So we've merged an awful lot of Partner Center accounts together, so that we're able to, manage our business as one. But yeah, the help you give me specifically on a daily, if not weekly basis has been just instrumental in helping us move the business forward to where we want it to go. And again, it's having those expert resources at your fingertips. I could have gone off and done some sort of a training course on Partner Center, but I had you, so I didn't need to do that.
Yeah. I guess we've had a lot of screen sharing sessions, trying to uncover, funding or incentives, or just trying to make sense of the point system. The point system obviously is quite challenging at best times, and obviously with the moving goalposts that are always behind us. So I guess it's quite I find it really interesting. Like I'm probably a problem solver at the best of times, but having come from the original Microsoft kind of partner program back before COVID, I guess, obviously it's always enhancing all the time, always changing. But I guess because Ingram's talking to so many partners about their own challenges and stuff like that, it kind of comes natural to our team. Like we have a team of, 8-9 people on the road that are dedicated to partners that have the same expertise as myself. You've just actually recently renewed your partnership as well, actually.
Yeah, that's right.
And about 6 months ago, we were like, wow, we've got a lot of work to do, and you've managed to pull through.
That's it. Yeah, it's good to get to that milestone. I think, just your deep knowledge and your background with Partner Center, something that I think would be a hugely complex thing to do. You're able to just, again, cut through and just to go, oh no, just do that and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
So, just starting to understand, those kind of daily, weekly, monthly tasks that we should be doing and looking at, just so that we're in a position where we really understand our business through Partner Center and the goals that we want to achieve as a business.
Yeah, and getting the recognition from Microsoft is probably one of the biggest things that people forget about Partner Center, is that when you've established a relationship, you've got a GDAP relationship, that's fine. But when you've got your claiming partner of record, you've got your co-sell in there, hanging that white flag up to say, hey, Microsoft, pay attention, look what we're doing with this customer, and them really paying attention and even reaching out to say, hey, your customer is actually managed by us. Can we have a discussion? Yeah. It's quite powerful, because we've done a few introductions to customers in the past. And it's like,
absolutely.
Oh, hey, Microsoft. Didn't see you there.
Yeah. I mean, from an internal business point of view, when you start to look at the incentives, that's a huge part of our business and what we're able to do internally, with our marketing, with ensuring that we're all trained and certified to the right levels. So that is a huge help to our business. And, as you say, you can start to then share referrals and information about customers and, really wrap your arms around those customers, and it is all because of Partner Center and those relationships that we're able to maintain, I guess.
Maximize it. We've talked about Copilot, but kind of one of the things we were just chatting off camera before a second ago was the assessments piece around the health checks and whatnot. Can you explain a bit more about how that's helped you build a bit of a practice?
Yeah, so before we had our own capabilities internally, we had customers coming to us asking about Copilot. And we didn't really have a good answer for them. So yeah, being able to work with Ingram and CommsCare really helped us help our customers initially by running workshops to see if they were ready for Copilot.
Yeah.
So, running a few reports on their tenant to really understand what their users are using at the moment, how active they are in collaboration tools, whether or not they're using all of the features, within Teams, transcription, that kind of thing. And so they were able to produce a report for those customers to show them at what different stages their users are in that kind of adoption. Mm-hmm. And it shows, the high propensity users that would be really good to adopt Copilot quickly, and it takes the customer on that journey. And so we've run that for quite a few customers via yourselves at Ingram, and then it's really helped us set up our own internal practice. We were able to shadow a few of those calls and start to get that expert resource internally. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's helped us expand our business into that now as well.
I remember going to Bristol, I think, at the beginning of the year for one of your customers because they wanted a prompt-a-thon.
Yes.
And that was quite an interesting one because it was in person and on Teams.
Yeah.
Did you hear much about that?
Yeah, it's been mentioned quite a few times. So again, really popular thing to do. It really helped that specific customer.
Yeah.
And that was both hybrid and in person.
Yeah.
So that's, maybe a different way of doing a prompt-a-thon that you might not have done before.
Yeah.
But yeah, the feedback from that was absolutely immense.
Yeah.
And it really showed us the kind of things we need to do as Babble to help our customers. So again, since that, we've now brought a training person in that covers all of M365 and Copilot, and that is now a service that we offer to our customers.
Yeah.
So yeah, without you, we wouldn't really have known where to start with that.
Yeah, because a prompt-a-thon is quite a unique type of engagement with a customer because you think of the word and you think it's a prompt marathon, and it's in that respect, but it's kind of like these are the things you didn't know Copilot could do. Let's test them out live, and let's see what happens. And it's really interesting because I'll remember one of my most critical ones was the customer was looking at an Excel spreadsheet and they were saying, we can't make sense of this and Copilot doesn't do this. And then you show them, different ways that they can try their prompt or they can click an extra button and it'll kind of go voomf. And they're like, whoa, where did all these charts come from? I'm like, if you just click this here instead, it will actually show you. And then the customer, you can just see their eyes light up and they go, I can understand the possibilities of this.
It's a real learning curve and you have to be ready to go on that learning curve. So, taking customers from where they are, and it will be different for different people within that customer. So with the reports that we were able to then start to understand, you take the person from where they are and you see them go on that journey, and suddenly their working practices change because they start to then use Copilot in their daily working lives, and you see usage go through the roof, and that's where the value is. It's hard to prove within a customer because it's kind of soft value, but if I can say I went from creating a report that used to take me 3 hours and in 10 minutes I can now get Copilot to do that with a quality prompt, there's your value. And that's really what we're able to help customers with.
Yeah, and you're able to build services off that now as well, because there's services now that Babble wasn't even doing 12 months ago that you're now able to replicate based on these kind of health checks, these MOT reports that you're getting now, because they'll not just look at the Copilot side of things, but they'll also look at your secure score, your compliance score, giving you kind of like a traffic light system to say, here's where you're really good at, here's where you're not so good at, here's what we need to address immediately.
That's it. We've been on a journey as well. You mentioned that we're a lot of different companies that have come into one. Each company did something slightly different for a customer. So being able to standardize and use tools like this to help us, it is changing our business. And we're a very different business now, to what we were before we started using these tools.
Yeah, I think next year will be 10 years since Babble started its relationship with Ingram. It's a very long adapted journey.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've talked about how you've come in and helped us with customers and enabling field sales and the internal sales teams. There's more than that as well, from a back office perspective. There's lots of areas that you help me as a product manager with every day, whether that be, introductions into other vendors, but also, our provisioning and delivery teams as well. You really are there for them whenever they have any licensing questions, or, we have a customer that thinks they need something and actually they're trying to achieve a different outcome, and often a conversation with you helps us get to that right place for the customer.
And that happened fairly recently, I think, with AWS, wasn't it? Do you want to explain a bit more about that? Because that was a very interesting one, kind of out of the blue.
Yeah, so we have a customer who is an AWS user. It's, again, not something we do in-house. We're more Microsoft house, as you know. We did have a support partner for that customer that supported their AWS environment. That support partner is kind of exiting from that workload, should we say.
Yeah.
So I came to you. What are we going to do to support this customer on AWS? We still don't have those skills internally. It's not really an area that we want to get into. And again, you were able to make some introductions internally to another team. We're now becoming an AWS reseller, so I'm sure that will scale over time as well. And, you know, through Ingram, you're now providing that support, or actually you will be very soon providing that support for that customer.
Yeah. So it gives your customers another cloud angle to kind of go, you know,
That's it.
Where do I see my cloud journey going? Is it Microsoft? Is it AWS? Is it both?
Yeah, that's it. We're starting to see more and more customers do a little bit in both, I think.
Bit of variety, because not a lot of people like their eggs all in one basket a lot of the time. But
Absolutely.
In some cases, it actually works, depending on the business model, it works best for them.
Yeah. So you're my first point of call if I need something new. Because if you don't do it yourself, you generally know where to go. And it's like, you know, if I come to you with a question, you'll often just have some really good advice around maybe how other partners are achieving, you know, the objective that we're trying to get to. So yeah, it's always a good chat, Pete.
Looking at it from an Ingram standpoint, because we have so many partners that we service and we go out and visit our partners almost all the time, giving them that variety of what are other partners saying, what are other partners doing, leaning on the expertise of, you know, well, actually, if you're not doing that and we're not doing that, I actually know a specialist partner that's doing that. You know, when it comes to our Dynamics program, and you can say, well, actually, we don't really know, you don't want to offhand it to another partner, but actually we've got our P2P program, which, you know, guarantees that you keep the customer. You introduce them to a service partner and they can deliver on that environment, be that Power Platform, Fabric, and so on and so forth, or lean on our comms care team for AWS. Yeah,
exactly. No, it's hugely powerful. And I think, you know, it helps us to bring enterprise grade support to small business. You know, that's our particular sort of niche of customers that we focus on. And having that P2P program where we can bring in a partner, you know, whether it be, you know, as you say, Dynamics is often one, or you know, any Power Platform work, that kind of thing, where we don't have those specialist in-house expertise. And it's a trusted pair of hands that, you know, if you trust them, then we feel that we can trust them as well. And as you say, we know that we're not going to lose the customer, because it's that win-win situation for everyone. Yeah,
having somebody dedicated to every room in the house of that business. Yeah.
Exactly that.
Brilliant. Well, thanks very much for joining me today. I found it really insightful, and hopefully our viewers did as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always a pleasure to come up and see you, Pete.
Thank you.